Everyone, I'd like to call to order the Monday, April 7th, 2025 meeting of the Lake Zurich Village Board. Clerk Cordell's sitting in again for Kathleen Johnson. Please call the roll.
Mayor Poynton.
Here.
Trustee Marks.
Here.
Trustee Riley. Here. Trustee Spicone.
Present.
Trustee Chagru.
Here.
Trustee Wider.
Present.
And
Okay, would you
Trustee
please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Trustee Euchre is absent tonight due to a work conflict.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anything? No. Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is an opportunity for residents to comment briefly on matters included on the agenda and otherwise of interest to the Board of Trustees. Public comment is limited to 30 minutes in total and up to 5 minutes per speaker. We will take public comments from the sign-in sheet list in the order folks signed in. When you step to the podium, please speak clearly into the microphone, identify yourself with your name and address for the record, and please direct your comments to the board. There's nothing on the sign-up list, so it doesn't look like anybody is going to speak, but I'll give you one last chance. If there's anybody who wants to do public comment, step up. Not seeing anybody making a move, so we'll move on. Next is the President's report. We have two proclamations and a reappointment tonight. So proclamation number 1 recognizes Arbor Day in Lake Zurich on Saturday, April 25th. This proclamation recognizes the importance of the role of trees in our community as they can increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. We urge all of our residents to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and to support the village's important urban forestry program, as well as attending our Arbor Day events on April the 26th. Proclamation number 2 declares April 13th to the 19th, 2025 as National Telecommunicator Week. This proclamation is in recognition of all telecommunicators and especially in appreciation of those servicing the residents and businesses of the village of Lake Zurich. It encourages everyone to be aware of the dedication, professionalism, and life-saving efforts put in by our telecommunicators. The full text of both of these proclamations can be seen on the village website. Next and last is the advice and consent to appoint Lori Stutzman to a 3-year term on the Community Police Advisory Commission. The Lake Zurich Community and Police Advisory Committee, or CPAC, is a 7-member advisory board that acts as a liaison between residents of Lake Zurich neighborhoods and the police department. CPAC meets to review traffic safety initiatives and to provide input on traffic-related issues or neighborhood problems. Lori Stutzman has served on the Lake Zurich Community and Police Advisory Committee since 2015, and after a decade of volunteering for this role, Lori is still willing to contribute more. Lori's continued service on CPAC is a testament to her passion and commitment to help make our village a better place. She has lived in Lake Zurich for over 20 years. She has a BA in Criminal Justice and Counseling from Northeastern University and a Master's in Counseling and Guidance Services, also from Northeastern University. She has worked for Cook County as a juvenile probation officer and in School District 214 in Wakanda as a counselor. In addition to her active involvement in the community, she is a life coach and stress management consultant working with individuals to navigate daily challenges. Lori is currently a life coach at Optimal Health, where she focuses on strategic planning. She has also worked in crisis intervention and animal-assisted therapy at Wakanda High School. Her dedication to both personal well-being and community service highlights her commitment to enhancing the lives of those around her. With the advice and consent of the full Village Board, I would like to reappoint Mrs. Lori Stutzman to a new 3-year term on the Community and Police Advisory Committee to end April 30th, 2028. As usual, my goal has always been to attempt to tap and match as best we can the background experience, education qualifications, skills, talents, and available time of potential volunteers to positions on our advisory boards and commissions. So at this point, I'm going to ask the board if they have any comments or questions. Anybody? No comments?
No, actually, I've had the pleasure of working with Lori back when I was the principal of a Safe Schools program, and she was working for the probation officer for juveniles. And her work with kids and with her therapy animals and things like that was top quality. She's a high quality person, so it's a great recommendation.
Okay, good deal. Anybody else? Nope. Then may I have a motion and a second to approve the reappointment of Lori Stutzman to the Community and Police Advisory Committee with a new 3-year term to end April 30th, 2028. A motion and a second, please.
So moved, Spacone.
And a second?
Second, Riley.
Kyle, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Spacone.
Aye.
And Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Okay, Lori's back on that committee. Next is the consent agenda. The titles on the consent agenda will be read by the clerk and approved by a single roll call vote. Any item may be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion or separate vote by any member of the board. Clerk Kyle Cordell will read the titles of the consent agenda items. Kyle?
Approval of the minutes of the Village Board meeting from March 17th, 2025. Approval of executive session minutes from the Village Board meeting of March 3rd, 2025. Approval of semi-monthly warrant register dated April 7th, 2025, totaling $1,235,941.27. Ordinance authorizing the disposal of surplus property owned by the Village of Lake Zurich. A resolution to induce the redevelopment of property within the Industrial TIF District Redevelopment Project Area Number 4 for Echo at 400 Oakwood Road. 2025-26 Special Rec Association of Central Lake County Member Agency contribution in the amount of $129,274. Resolution for the Lake Zurich Triathlon route to be held on July 13th, 2025. Resolution for Jack-O-Lantern World 5K race to be held on September 28th, 2025. A resolution for Alpine Races route to be held on August 17th, 2025. An agreement with Suburban Concrete for the 2025 Concrete Flat Work Program in the amount not to exceed $200,000. A resolution accepting public improvements within the Avery Ridge subdivision and release of site work guarantees in the form of a letter of credit and bond.
Okay, thank you. Any board questions, or is discussion desired on any item, or would anyone like to have any item pulled for a separate vote?
I just have a question for Bonnie about the races and the construction going on downtown. Are we routing around those areas this year?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why you're receiving the approval for the resolution for the Lake Zurich Triathlon. We've been working with the new operator who has been very, very understanding
Right.
to the improvements that need to happen downtown. So we have reworked the route with the police department's assistance as well. So yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Nope. Okay, then again, may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented? Motion and a second. Motion, please.
So moved, Spacone.
Mark Spacone and a second.
Second, Marks.
Jake Marks. Kyle, please call the roll.
Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Spacone.
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda passes. We'll move on to new business. Item 7A, I believe this is Trustee Riley will handle this. Trustee?
Yep. Resolution approving the sale of property and authorizing execution of sale contract of 85 South Old Rhine Road. Alex Jump, representing Jump Co. LLC Park Avenue Series, has requested to purchase village-owned property at 85 South Old Rhine Road for future development. Mr. Jump currently owns the adjacent property at 100 Park Avenue. The total purchase price to be paid by Mr. Jump is $35,000 with a 10% deposit and bearing 100% of the closing costs. Jump Co. has agreed to a plat of consolidation for 100 Park Avenue and 85 South Old Rand Road to be executed after closing. The plat will also record a 20-foot wide utility easement to facilitate future water main maintenance.
Okay, thank you. Michael?
Good evening. Yes, I'm going to have Scott Euler lead us off in just some clarification, and then we'll ask Mr. Jump to come to the microphone, and we'll take it from there.
The contract that you have in your packet this evening is the basic contract that has been proposed for the transaction. Our office has had a chance to review the contract due to a technical defect in the document that I forwarded to the village. There are some additional terms that we recommend be included in the final contract. As I understand it, those have been shared with the buyer at this point. I talked to Assistant Manager Dubner today. We talked about the language that I am recommending be added. That is tightening some of the environmental protections for the village as the current owner of the property, clarifying how the plat of consolidation, which the board has requested, will be completed with the eventual owner, the buyer, and the reservation of the easement for the public utility easement that the village is going to reserve or create is also clarified in the suggested changes that our office has made. So with those changes, we recommend approval of the contract tonight, but we're going to be adding those to the contract that you have in front of you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Hold on a second. So what will we be approving tonight? The sale with the changes that we haven't seen yet?
With the final recommended changes that I just highlighted to be added to the contract, which have been shared with the buyer.
We did share those changes and the final version of the contract with Mr. Jump, and he was in agreement. And actually, he is in the room. If I could ask you to step to the podium. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Here to answer any questions you got. I looked at the contract after you sent it to me today. It looked good. I'll review it again with my lawyer tomorrow, but again, he sent it to me today. Everything looked perfect. The original one was great too, just small changes.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you might be doing with that property at this point?
Sure. My plan is to clean it up. When you drive by it right now, it's got a big pile of bricks as tall as I am. It's got invasive sumac all over it, weeds. They would never cut the grass there, so clean it up, put some landscaping there. And then, I don't know if you noticed, I put it in the newspaper to get public opinion to see what people in town want.
Well, that was brave.
Yeah. I mean, even the middle school kids are working on a design, but I just kind of want to see what Lake Zurich needs. I got a little time to figure out what I want to do there, but just clean it up and see what the town needs.
We've had some extensive opportunities to talk to Alex about the property, and adding this particular parcel to 100 Park really provides him with a unique opportunity to develop that land and to have that same look that we're looking for in the downtown, which is that the structure is at the front of the property rather than at the rear. With him owning 100 Park right next to it, and us being able to sell him the 85, he now has the ability of parking behind the building and creating a driveway. He's been amenable to all of the easement language that we've proposed because we do have a water line running through that area, and he understands that, water lines obviously sometimes need a little bit of service. And so.
Well, will you be back in front of us with a proposed plan for it at some
course,
point?
yep.
How long do you think that might take?
I'm not sure about that. I got to clean it up first and get some pros over there to see what we need to do.
A lot of stones and bricks on that place.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm the guy for the job.
Might want to keep the bricks.
I already have people trying to buy them constantly, so.
I'm surprised they haven't been stealing them. I know
Sure they
some
are.
have gone missing.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
don't
they
know
are.
who would count them, but I know that they have, so. Okay, questions, board, anybody? No? One less property that the village owns, so
you go.
thank you for taking that off of our hands.
I'm gonna clean it up right away.
We will appreciate the tax dollars that you generate on property taxes,
All right.
which will be minimal at this point, but better than nothing.
Yep,
Congratulations.
thanks.
Thank you.
I just wrote it down.
So I recommend a motion to approve Resolution 2025-04-099, approving the sale of the parcel identified as 85 South Old Rain Road to Jump Co. LLC Park Avenue Series.
With final attorney recommendations?
Yes.
Okay.
Second, Sugru.
With final attorney recommendations.
Okay, and a second, please.
Second, Sugru.
Shagru? Kyle, call the roll, please.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Spagone.
Aye.
Trustee Sugru.
Aye.
Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Looking forward to see what happens with that.
All right, new business, B, resolution approving the sale of property and authorizing execution of sale contract of 173 West Main Street, resolution 2025-04-100. Derek Goodman, representing THG Holding LLC or nominee, has requested to purchase village-owned real estate consisting of approximately 1.7 acres with a common street address of 173 West Main Street for future townhome and commercial development. The total purchase price is $1,050,000. A $25,000 deposit will be forthcoming within 5 days of the village board approving the sale.
We're excited to
Michael?
thank you. We are excited to have Mr. Goodman here tonight. As a matter of fact, we have two Mr. Goodmans in the audience. And I understand this is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've had courtesy reviews, and people have been able to kind of take a look at things and provide some feedback. Mr. Goodman has offered to take a different approach to that, and that is he is looking at purchasing the property. And in reviewing the sales contract, you'll realize that there are some stipulations for due diligence period and opportunities to obtain all of his entitlements for building the townhomes and the commercial property. And
Just to clarify, 173 West Main is our Block A.
that is Block A, exactly.
Okay.
That is the parcel, or those are the 10 parcels that are across the street from the promenade.
Right.
And just to be upfront, we've had good conversations, and Mr. Goodman has also seen the street improvements, the very early incantations of them, and he feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they're only going to enhance his ability to market the property. That's what's going on there.
Okay. Mr. Goodman? Mr. Goodman?
Either one of us. Good evening, Mayor, Board. Thank you for having us tonight. We're really enthusiastic about 173 West Main Street. We think it has a lot of potential to bring some life along the street alongside the improvements that you're already making. A little bit about our company. We've been in business for over 40 years. We're a residential real estate developer primarily. We do single family and multifamily from the north side of Chicago all the way to Kenosha. So this is our area of expertise. It's right in our sweet spot. We do a lot of work with other municipalities. Most recently, we purchased a property from the Village of Buffalo Grove as an example. We built a townhome development at Aptekissick Road and Buffalo Grove Road. That project was slated for a similar amount of townhomes, 15 to 20. The entire project was started and completed within 12 months, sold out. We try to find great infill pieces that have great potential for small communities, put really nice finishes in them, things like stone wainscot, hardy board, nice front elevations that are appealing to most buyers at a reasonable price for the community. Other examples of nearby projects that are going on, we have a project in the village of Wakanda. It's one of their first residential developments they've had in years, I think they've told us. We're doing single-family homes off of Gilmer Road, going very well. It's about 75% sold out. We started about 7.5 months ago. And those are single-family homes, about 2,500 square feet on average. So we deliver about 30 to 40 homes a year. So a project like this, we're looking at preliminary concepts right now. We've shared some with the village. We're looking at a multi-use development with both commercial applications to tie into the downtown, a commercial space, as well as a smaller townhome community, giving some of that view to the beautiful lake to some of those townhomes within the space. Happy to answer any questions about us or our intent. And
I'm going to open it up to comments from the board, if anybody has any. Raj, I'll start with you, Roger Shagru.
Thank you for coming to the board and offering kind of your services and recommendations of other areas. The biggest concern I think that we always hear is parking. That's going to be their first and foremost one. So kind of as you look at that, thought, 18 townhomes, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, kind of, do you know where you're going with that?
yeah, I'll actually start with, when we looked at the project, we've seen some presentations from the past from other people who have looked at Block A. A lot of people immediately go, well, let's put a condo building on the water. It'd be beautiful. Put a restaurant on the first floor. Unfortunately, you got a high water table there. You can't do underground parking, and we obviously don't have enough exterior parking for 40 or 50 homes. So we looked at the next thing, which naturally would be townhomes. Townhomes give us a little bit more density. You have a garage within the footprint, so you already have 2 spaces for those homeowners, and then you have a driveway, which gives them 2 additional spaces, so 4 spaces automatically per unit. And then we have some room in our plans for guest parking. I think the piece that we're continuing to explore, and while we do have some preliminary concepts, we want to talk to staff as well as P&Z when we get in front of them as well to get input is the commercial space. We know that the board or the city is looking for more commercial space opportunity in the downtown, bring more businesses to downtown, bringing more entertainment or opportunities to downtown. So we have a commercial space laid out. I think the biggest consideration for that is going to be parking, which we've talked a little bit about to see, how we accommodate that. Our primary goal is the townhome community, where we feel that we definitely have adequate parking. The commercial space is somewhat flexibility that we'll have to go through all of our due diligence and planning to really figure out.
So probably, Sarosh, or a general question. So if we go through with the sale and approve it tonight, can we provide any recommendations or feedback, or is it they own the property and what they move forward with is what they move forward with?
I think Ray wanted to speak.
Perhaps maybe more globally, the answer is yes and yes. Is that they would own the property at the conclusion of the due diligence process if they close. Part of that conditions would be securing the entitlements that the village would still have the final say on. So that they would go through the P&Z process, public hearing process, with a PUD that would eventually come to the board. So you will ultimately be approving what the final design and layout and use of the property will be.
Great. That's all I had. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Greg?
Yeah, just to clarify for folks watching. So the condition of the sale is these gentlemen getting an agreement on the PUDs or any kind of variances that are needed for the zoning, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted that to be stated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple people from the community reach out. This is a little bit different than in a way that we've approached it in the past.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with the process. I'm just trying to clarify so I don't get 22 phone calls tomorrow, just 2.
Yeah.
So.
I know Lake Zurich does a little bit different. This is pretty typical of how most municipalities that we work with, and in most transactions, frankly, whether it's private or public, Typically, we want to make sure that we're going to get approval for a certain number of units
Right.
before we invest the money and then find out we get half of that. Obviously, it doesn't become a profitable project then. So it needs to be a win-win for both parties, and then the closing would happen subsequent to approvals.
Yeah, okay, I get it. So, I also want to say thank you for your interest in the Village of Lake Zurich. This is a project that has been a long time coming. So I appreciate your interest, and I appreciate you working with the village, and I look forward to a great project, getting finished down there. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Spicone.
All right, thanks, guys. Just simple question. The idea is that these are all for sale and not rentals, correct?
All for sale.
Okay, just want to make sure that that's public for everybody out there to know that these are for sale and not rental properties that we're looking at down there.
Correct.
Thank you. It's a prime piece of property. You've got wonderful views. Obviously, you know that where you're at by the lake there and things. So, congratulations on hopefully getting this to the finish line and moving forward and getting another piece of property off the rolls here for us and moving forward. So, that's all. Thank you.
Just to clarify that this property has been for sale in its collective nature since 2002, for sale or development. This is another property that goes back on the tax rolls when you bet you get it. So that's a good move. William.
To build on Mayor's point is, Village kind of has no business being real estate agents, and we have an opportunity to relieve ourselves of 2 of those properties tonight. So I appreciate your investment into the community. For the residents, realizing that, to Roger's point and the clarification from Ray, there's further work with staff. There's possible courtesy review, obviously a PZC, and then a final approval here. So anything from renderings and everything, multiple opportunities to see it. That being said, for you two gentlemen, I think just kind of clarifying maybe some things that you might see coming is that piece of property is one of the most beautiful pieces of property we have in Lake Zurich. It's probably also the most visited when we think about where within our lake our residents go and view the lake and enjoy the lake. So I understand the economic profile of this works when you have the townhomes there, right? Condensing that as little as you can to still make that profit, and then also focusing on the commercial use being as vast as it could be, with the commercial use being something that the residents can enjoy, and not just the 15 to 18 homeowners that live behind it. That they can enjoy those views, they can enjoy that side of the lake as well. So I appreciate everything that you guys have done this far, and I appreciate the approach that you're willing to take here.
Last but not
Jake
least,
Marks.
he took everything I was going to say. So I would just say, first, thank
What
you.
he said.
Thank you for coming before the board. I think everyone's excited to see what you guys can provide in terms of a design. If I could make one recommendation is just try and work as closely hand in hand with our village staff to integrate with our community improvement plan and the redesigns we're doing for Main Street in line with what Will was saying in a way that kind of gives some aspect of public enjoyment beyond just the property owners there. But I have confidence in what you guys will bring, so looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
If I may be, just add a further point. Just this evening, we were just talking about bringing our staff team together, our design review team within the next week or so to have some further discussions on what the layout would be and what have you. So we're all keenly aware of the importance of this project and the expectations from the community. So, thank you.
And that design review team includes Public Works and
Sarosh, his team, Public Works, we'll have the fire department there. It's pretty much everybody that touches things will be sitting around the table, and this way you get excellent feedback immediately to whatever you present to us at that time.
To clarify, it's the development review team.
Oh, development review, sorry.
And don't walk away from that meeting with any unanswered questions. A couple points. Will you be coming back with a courtesy review for us to see it, or are you going directly to the PCC?
I would.
You don't have to do a courtesy review.
Yeah,
right?
I typically refer to the village process. We tend to like to have a fully baked plan before we go into a public hearing to make sure that everything works out. I think at this stage we have some preliminary concepts that we've shared to staff. We don't necessarily like to put those out in front of a public forum until we've vetted all of the due diligence, things like soil borings. We've got a lake there. How good is that land? There's history with the property, so environmental conditions of the property. As we look at sewer and water tie-ins, we look at the engineering that's being done on Main Street relative to the engineering that would be required for our project and the cost for both.
Right.
Some of those things we want to make sure we get through before we come back in front of the public and say, this is what we want to do.
Right. Okay.
We do like the opportunity. I don't think Lake Zurich has this opportunity. We were just talking earlier. Sometimes, one or two trustees or mayor or someone can provide some input to us early on as far as their vision is very helpful as well. But I'm sure that can come through staff.
Okay, good deal.
Can I say
We're-
something real quick?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
That was probably the most eloquent, professional, and Greg and I were just discussing, that was one of the best answers to, sorry. That was one of the best answers to a difficult question that we've had for someone sitting here in a long time, so thank you for your professionalism.
Actually, actually ever.
Right.
Yeah.
I tip my cap to yes.
No Alpine look. Not looking for an Alpine look.
No. This will be a very contemporary development with modern housing finishes. Today's quality finishes. We're not putting up vinyl siding. We want this to be a very nice community representative of the future of downtown, and we think we can make that happen. Now, with that, there's obviously cost constraints and who our buyers are and what they can afford. So we'll be balancing both of those and sharing that with staff as we go through the P&Z process.
So then what do you suggest that your timetable might be to get moving?
As fast as the Village of Lake Zurich works.
Okay. Well, pedal to the metal.
We would like to move quickly because we know Main Street is moving quickly.
Right.
And it's really important that our plans are baked alongside those so that we're not trying to redo stuff that's already done.
And speaking of Main Street, we're spending a lot of money fixing up Main Street. If you screw it up, you're going to pay for it.
We understand that.
Okay? Fair?
You got it.
Okay.
Can I add one more thing, Mayor?
Yes.
I think we're a big social media blitz sometimes when things come out and when we see all the chats coming on. How you're gonna win the Village of Lake Zurich is what you put in that commercial property, is because people love that view, right? I mean, we have Sunset Pavilion right there. We have beautiful Lago on the other side, right? There's a lot of things you're gonna win them over if you have something that the entire village and surrounding communities can come and enjoy.
Yep.
Right? We had a tenant that didn't work out that everybody loved. And so it fell through, and now you guys are here. I think that's probably the biggest request I've seen recently on that. So I would really focus. You're going to make the townhomes beautiful. I don't doubt that, but I think the commercial property is going to be a huge win if you could do it right. So just want to add that. Thank you.
Of the 32-some properties that were purchased by past regimes in the Village of Lake Zurich, we're now down to only one that we own. So that's a big positive for the staff and for the board that we've gotten out from underneath being a landlord in most cases. So
Are you interested in another property?
we have one more property yeah.
Is this Block B?
Yes, it is.
I just want to say that we came to the village, to look at another parcel, and it was because of that, the staff came to us and said, we have a piece of property that we think you can do better with. And they're the ones that showed us this property. So it was very thankful to that gentleman sitting right over there to show us, it's Michael, to show us the property.
Well, they try to do a complete job, and I think you'll, if you come to the table with everything that you're supposed to come to the table with, this will be a piece of cake for you. If you jerk around and jerk them around, then you only cause more delays for yourself. So based on what I'm seeing here, and I've been to your website, I like the product that you have, both commercially and residentially. I think you're gonna hit a winning spot there, so good for you. So anyway, William?
So, look, I recommend a motion to approve Resolution 2025-04-100, approving the sale of the parcels identified as 173 West Main Street, THG Holding LLC or nominee.
I'll second it. Spacone.
William, you made the motion?
Yep.
Okay. And second, Spacone. Kyle, call the roll, please.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Trustee Spacone.
Yes.
Good luck, gentlemen. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Next item. Trustee Weider.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Contract to Stuckey Construction Company, Inc. for the Oslod Paulus Park Grant Construction Project in the amount not to exceed $4,050,000. In March 2024, the Village of Lake Zurich was awarded a $600,000 Oslod grant for another round of improvements at Paulus Park, including shoreline restoration, renovation of the splash pad with game tables, creation of a new pump house, a band shell for the park stage, bago courts, another bathroom, and landscaping. The village retained Hitchcock Design Group to design the project elements, prepare the construction documents, and conduct the bid process. In March 2025, Hitchcock Design Group conducted the bid process, which yielded 6 proposals. Stuckey Construction Company, Inc. of Waukegan, Illinois, submitted the lowest responsible bid at $3,681,900 based on the elements staff selected for inclusion in the project scope. With a contingency, the project recommend approving the bid award to not exceed $4,050,000. The FY25 capital project fund budget includes $3.4 million for work to be undertaken this year, supplemented by $232,940 in SRA funding for eligible project costs. The remaining project balance will be included in the FY26 balance to coincide with the completion of the project and to reflect the actual construction costs.
We have Park and Rec Director Bonnie Caputo with us tonight. Thank you, Bonnie.
Hi. So I just wanted to clarify in regards to the project scope. So with the bid, you're going to see a base bid 1, which has most of the components that were listed for the grant. Base bid 2 was for the pump. We separated that out. That's the pump house. That does also include an additional family restroom. We did, since we are touching the splash pad, we have to be up to date with the Illinois Department of Public Health standards. So we are 1 restroom short at Paulus Park, so that'll be created with the pump house. And then it also includes a guard area. So where the guardhouse currently exists, that will be demolished. You will have full views of the lake from the playground, and it will be in 1 structure off to the side. So it will inhibit less of the lake views, which we hear all the time. Another thing that you're going to see is there are a certain amount of alternatives that were selected. We put a bunch of things off to the side, so 10 different alternatives, most of which we felt did not, if we did not move forward with the alternatives, they would not impact operations or the community's expectations. 3 of the alternatives that we have proposed to move forward with, one of them is to redesign an ADA accessible pathway down to the waterfront. So this is something I'm very passionate about. It did come through during our community workshops when we were crafting what the scope of the project would look like. We had a couple that did approach us and state that they bring their grandbabies to the beach often, and the only way to get up and down from that beach is stairs. So we thought, since we are touching that area down there, this would be a good complement to the project and to be incorporated if we could. We did not budget anything out of the SRA CLC fund, and as the board remembers, last year we did increase the levy for projects specifically like this. So we thought this would be a wonderful addition and a good use of the SRACLC dollars. From last year, we do have a positive fund balance, and we are budgeted to have a positive fund balance this year that can go towards those projects. So I do have Lacey Lawrence from Hitchcock Design Group and Jeff from Dewberry here in case there are any additional questions about the project.
Okay, board, start down at this end. Jake?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. William?
Same, thank you very much.
Mark?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
No questions.
Nothing?
Nope.
I think we're all super excited. I mean, I think this park is beautiful, and it's going to even be better. And I can't wait for the band shell. I think that one is going to bring a ton of people and a ton of fun activities that are long overdue to a great community. So appreciate all the hard work on this, and looking forward all to come. Thanks.
I'm
Ditto.
looking forward to Shagru breaking out the recorder that he learned in 3rd grade and having a concert in the band show.
I heard he's got albums and stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the recorder. Yeah. Not. The spray ground. Major reconstruction on the spray ground, right?
Yes.
Total redesign as well, and all the pump stuff is being brought up above ground. That's one of the largest components of this project, right?
The largest. The largest.
The largest. So the spray ground will be out of commission this summer? The whole summer?
The whole summer.
Okay, just in case anybody's looking to go to the spray ground. It's
Come to
not
the
gonna be.
beach.
Come to the beach,
Yes.
there you go. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, good question. What's the timeline going to be for completion for everything?
Anticipating the end of October.
If you're going to speak, I need you on the mic. And identify yourself, please.
Lacey Lawrence, Hitchcock Design Group.
Lisa?
So the anticipated construction would start as soon as we secure full permits from IDPH is usually the longest wait for that, and then anticipating construction completion by the end of October, November
Okay,
of this year.
good deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Bonnie, to clarify, you probably started the process October, November 2023, right? To obtain the grant. I remember you working on this for a while before we were even awarded the grant.
So we approached the Village Board about the resolution, the application in August of 2023. And then we formally heard that we were awarded the grant in March of 2024, so.
I appreciate the due diligence and the timeline there.
As we're going to be experiencing significant project work around Paulus Park, just as we are with Main Street, we'll be keeping the community apprised as different elements are kicking off, and so that we'll keep people updated as to what will be available and not available.
One more thing, with all the activity at Paulus, can you reiterate what's happening with the farmer's market one more time?
So it was very important for not only staff, but also for our vendors to keep consistent with the location. So it will still be at Paul's Park every Friday, the first Friday in June through the second Friday in September. We do have 2 dates that we will not be able to operate. That'll be the farmer's market and then the weekend of the triathlon. Unfortunately, there's just too much happening on the property that Friday. But we are moving the market into the park. So we're really curious to see how that is received by the community and the vendors this year.
Good, okay. So farmer's market is still on regardless of all the construction that's going on, even down on Whitney and Lake Zurich Drive and that whole shebang. Good deal. Huh?
The Coots will be back.
And in case anybody is still waiting to hear if the Coots are coming, the old Coots will be there this year in their usual short-term 3-hour stint, so every other week, maybe, if we're not tired. Okay, Greg?
Good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to award a contract for the Oslod Paulus Park Grant Construction Project to Stuckey Construction Company of Waukegan, Illinois, for the base 1 bid, bid number 2, and alternatives number 2 and number 4 and number 10 for a project total including 10% construction contingency not to exceed $4,050,090.
You made the motion Need a second.
Marks.
Mark, Jake Marks, and Kyle, call the roll, please.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Trustee Spicone.
Aye.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the end, oh, wait a second. Got two more things to do. That's the end of our new business for tonight. Are there any, moving on, we go to trustee reports. Any trustee reports tonight? No? Village staff, anybody beside Bonnie?
I'm sorry,
Bonnie
I'm raising my
Caputo.
hand. So I just wanted to say we're kicking off event season, at least our internal events. It starts with this Saturday, rain or shine. We have our annual egg hunt where we're hiding thousands and thousands and thousands of eggs throughout Paul's Park. It's open to ages 2 through 12. It's a free event. I did want to thank our recreation supervisor, Marissa Boynton, and my whole team, as well as our sponsors like Zurich Tire and Auto Inc., Bright Horizons, DJ Dave Chicago, and the massive amount of volunteers that NHS is sending out in supporting the event. So if you're around, hop on over.
Okey-doke, anybody else? No? Okay, well then that concludes our regular business for tonight. We will be adjourning to executive session, call for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120/2C21, review of executive session minutes. 5 ILCS 120/2C6, setting price for sale, lease of real estate. 5 ILCS 120/2C5, purchase or lease of real estate, and 5 ILCS 120/2C1, personnel review. There will be no voting action or board business discussed after closed session, so the adjournment of closed session will be the final adjournment and end of the meeting. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's regular meeting to executive session?
So moved, Whiter.
And a second, please?
Second, Chagru.
Roger, thank you very much. And Kyle, please call the roll.
Trustee Weider.
Aye.
Trustee Spicone.
Aye.
Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Chagru.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We are adjourned to executive session. Thanks for watching.